Okay, time now is 7:57 a.m. in the morning on January 18th. Oh my god. So, yeah. I I didn't I don't think I really slept. I went to bed at 4:40, which is great. And as expected, I didn't fall asleep. But I did not take sleeping pills because it's too late. So I just waited and waited and waited, and then I'm here. So I technically did not sleep at all. So yeah, that's fucking great. Um, fuck. This is bad. I planned to go to bed at 4 a.m. I didn't, so I went to bed at 4:40 and I still couldn't fall asleep. This is amazing. This is fucking amazing. So yeah, I really need to seriously somehow keep myself awake today. Holy shit. I really don't want to fall asleep on set or on the film. So, come on. Um, anyways, uh, I watched The Grandmaster last night on my Blu-ray, and Adipta, the roommate from Bangladesh, saw it, and he's like, "Wow, that's a Blu-ray player," and yeah, and he's like, "Wow, that's rare these days." And then he thought I was playing The Godfather, and he's like, "The Grandmaster, it's not a Hollywood film, right?" And I'm like, "No, it's Hong Kong." And he's like, "Oh, interesting." And I told him I collect more movies, and he's like, "What other films?" Like this film, and then what? And I'm like, "Oh, I have like 60 something movies." And he's like, "Oh." But yeah, I watched the whole movie downstairs, and it's interesting because I could hear him doing these weird puffing noises, like that he's been doing for the last few weeks. It To me it sounds like the lens blower for my camera, the air pump. I don't know what kind of noise that is, but he does that every 20 minutes or so. He he makes this weird noise. Maybe he's blowing his nose constantly. Maybe it's like a spray, but he makes this pew, pew, like weird noise. Um, but yeah, not bad. And then yeah, fuck. Um, Today is gonna be a film set from 9 a.m. till maybe around 6 ish, and then I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna go to the Egyptian theater and I'll be watching Inland Empire. Again, I really don't want to fall asleep. I really cannot fall asleep. Oh my god. Yeah, it is very important, this screening. I think it's the first film screening since David Lynch's passing of a David Lynch film. So, yeah. Also, the bus I want to take is usually the bus is like at 20, so I woke up at 7:55 because I want to catch the 8:20 bus. That's not fucking happening. It's arriving at 8:15, and then um like I don't know. It's so stupid. So I'm gonna go back to bed because now I can arrive a little later because the bus is not even fucking showing up. So I'm just gonna walk again. Fuck me. So. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm not filming tomorrow.
What do you think needs script, Cameron? Just put actors?
Oh, Cliff needs a script as well. Oh, also.
What do you think? The PD.
Cameron should be out here.
Imperfect Us. Like the first day of Imperfect Us, I was pulled.
Cut.
Cutting.
Sound there?
Whose phone is that?
I don't know whose phone that is, but.
Is that coming from outside? Is it fire?
Oh, it's just regular bread.
You vlogging too? What the heck? You're copying me?
He won't be back.
No, I do this all the
tomorrow,
time.
so he'll be different. So yeah, just make characters. Thank you so much.
Welcome to Psych 101, the study of psychology. I am Maya. I'll be your professor for this class. Now let's start with a question. Who here can tell me what psychology is? Yes, you there.
It's the study about the guy that made Gundam style, right?
Yeah, okay, sure. I guess so, in a way.
I thought it was about reading people's minds.
Yeah.
Who has a question about this? Don't be shy. There's no stupid questions.
Oh, I heard there was a case study about a rat controlling a human, so the rat can live his dream of becoming a chef. What was the psychology there?
Stupid questions.
Off me. So, I got this crystal the other day. It was green. How can I use it to control my friend's mind? What'd you do that for?
Yeah, I don't think that's a thing.
Pablo can tie me up and zap me wherever he wants.
Careful what you wish for.
Cut.
Cutting.
We're good?
Okay.
You look like you're about to take an executive call on a rotary dial phone.
You wouldn't get it. I can't just try.
Okay, let's get to Hollywood from USC to watch Inland Empire. Coffee in honor of David Lynch. Okay.
Every day you said something wicked before you. And we don't have to go to the movie theaters. We don't have to go to the Pussycat Theater back in the days. We have all that stuff on our phone. Don't you understand that you're being entertained all the way to hell? You don't have time for God. You're being distracted by the grace of God that He's offering you every day. You wake up every day not to come.
Okay, here it is. Egyptian theater. Here it is, guys. It's my third time here. First time is the fall 4K restoration. Next time is the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay. Ooh, they're still buying the tickets. No way. No freaking way. Okay, thank you.
I love the light there. I live there, and I love the feel.
I'm Greg. I'm the artistic director at the American Cinematheque. I'd like to thank you and congratulate all of you for giving to the Motion Picture Television Fund and the California Firefighter Association that we have up there. Every ticket this year, 50 cents from every ticket bought online, we're giving back. So we're doing this together, so thank you. So it'll continue throughout the year, and we're hoping that there'll be matching funds and others will give as well. So thank you, and welcome back to the movie theater. It's the first memorial tribute that's been programmed before in pure David Lynch fashion, before it happened. So we were showing Inland Empire, we're showing Wild at Heart, and people were like, well, why was the American Cinematheque showing these films? And I was like, well, because we're the American Cinematheque and he's David Lynch. And if you go to any repertory theater in town, any of our friends, or anywhere across the United States, there's not a time where it's not surrounded by at least some David Lynch film. So, is it magical? It's happening because it's David Lynch films. And so that's, so we're gonna slowly roll these out as we would almost any other time. Some things that we have a slight connection here and there with David Lynch over the years. We did the premiere of...
I think it was after midnight. Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Holy shit. Okay, so time now is 1:28 a.m. in the morning. Yeah, I just finished dinner, which is on this plate, and I am ready to have a talk. Holy shit, I feel dizzy right now actually, and I will collapse at, oh fuck me, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna collapse at any given moment, because I am insanely tired. So anyways, today is an utmost intriguing day. It's crazy. The amount of interesting shit that happened this week is more than the entirety of December, I think. So yeah. So today is split into two halves, but really the first half is bigger, more important. I went to a film set, my first film set of 2025, and I woke up at 7:55 a.m. in the morning, and I felt like absolute shit, mainly because I didn't really fall asleep. I didn't fall asleep, so right now I sound totally okay, and I'm energetic. I'm like, ha ha ha, yay. I'm actually dying in the inside. I feel like I just did not fall asleep at all. I was either nervous or I just wasn't used to going to bed so early at 4:40 a.m. But tonight I will go to bed early. This is my chance to sleep early. So I will not fuck it up. So yeah, I woke up and then I went back to sleep for about 10 more minutes, but then again I didn't really fall asleep. So it's 8:15. So yeah, I said 10 minutes, but it's actually more like 20 minutes, but that's because I filmed myself. So 8:15, I woke up, brushed my teeth, blew my hair, dried my hair, and packed up some stuff, and I was ready to go. My film set bag, and I just brought one backpack. The thing is, when you're PD, you actually have to bring a lot of stuff to set. But because I actually don't have a lot to bring to set other than some printed posters and a pair of scissors, and some laptops, I ended up not bringing too much. But that also means everything I need to bring must be in one backpack. So I brought one big backpack, very heavy. Also, my legs, both my thighs and calves, my back, like my pectoral girdle, my traps, my, I believe chest not sore at all. No, not sore at all. Biceps, a little sore. Triceps, tiny bit sore. But mostly my traps and my pectoral girdle. It's just my intercostal muscles. Very fucked. How the fuck do I know all these muscle names? That's crazy. Yeah, so I felt really sore. And I had the option to either walk to school again, even though I had 0 hours of sleep and sore muscles and a super heavy backpack, or wait for a bus. Of course, I waited for a bus because I do not want to torture myself. You know, Ariel said, treat yourself like you're your own children. You're your own child. So, you know, treat myself better. Take the bus. So I waited for the bus. The bus came. I took the bus. And I arrived on campus and I walked to GFS. And I was late by like 3 minutes. So I'm glad I took the bus. I was right on time, basically. So I walked upstairs and there they are, the whole crew. And despite the fact that Jayun isn't there, I think I already know like 1/3 of the entire crew somehow from all sorts of different places. Katie immediately noticed me. Katie's in a tank top with exposed belly, like a crop top, in the middle of winter. Of course, she's so full of energy. But she's also really nice today, I think partially because I brought her boyfriend. I forcefully brought her boyfriend to set, and she has to act nice now. As opposed to in summer, you know, she wasn't mean during in summer. She just looks dead in the inside. So maybe I made a good decision to forcefully bring her boyfriend here. Very interesting sequence of events. Yeah, so and then Christian showed up. Christian's already inside the classroom, moving some chairs around. I saw Cameron, whom I've seen a couple times before. I've seen Cliff, not referring to the OG Cliff. I'm talking about the DP of today, Cliff, who is from Indonesia, and interviewed me over Zoom for the music video thing, which I declined. No, I've seen him in person for the music video thing. Speaking of music video thing, Ethan, I was going to say his last name, because the thing is, I've met multiple Ethans. I've met 2 Cliffs now and multiple Ethans. So, Ethan, the Asian American guy. He's here, and he's the DP for the music video. And then Harley, one of the PDs for the music video, also showed up. And today is actually the first time I've ever spoken to Harley. She's this Chinese girl, probably a couple of years younger than me, who I kept running into, and I keep thinking that she looks like Hyein from New Jeans, even though the more I look at her, the more I realize she doesn't look like Hyein at all. But my initial reaction was, oh, Hyein from New Jeans with blonde hair. But yeah, she's in several of my classes. She's in CTCS 191 with me, the same discussion. And I was there for the music video meetings. And she immediately recognized me first before I pointed that out. And Jacob, the guy with mushroom hair from Guangzhou, or no, he's from Shenzhen, Justin T's roommate, he's there for some fucking reason. So I'm like, sure. And he's the gaffer, so, I mean, cool beans. And I believe that's... Oh, and then Yuki, the Japanese-American actress who played the lead in Imperfect Dust, also showed up here, which made me feel a bit less embarrassed about joining an APCA web episode shoot. The biggest, I guess, gripe I may or may not have with being on an APCA web episode shoot is that it feels like a downgrade. Like, I've worked on MFA shoots, and I excel, I make friends, but now I've downgraded myself to APCA web episodes, which are like the lowest level of film shoots in USC. I hate to say this, no, lowest level is like indie short films where no one helps out. Those are lowest, and then it's APCA web episodes, which are known for having little to no budget, terrible sound, terrible script, terrible everything, which I think is still true. But today's production is not bad. It's not bad at all, it's not messy at all. I think it's fine. And then the next level is 310, the next level is 480, the next level is MFA, and then beyond MFA, it's like real, actual short films or maybe feature films. So, yeah, the first USC set I've ever worked on is MFA, and then I've been working myself downwards from here on out. But, yeah, so the day began, I ate nothing, and I didn't eat anything until maybe 10 a.m.-ish. So right off the bat, I put down my bag and I began set dressing. I took out my posters and I started cutting things up. Christian was like, how can I help? And I was like, do you have scissors? And Christian's like, yeah. And I'm like, damn, you're well prepared. So I'm so happy I brought Christian with me, because I should call him Christian R, because there are like multiple Christians. There's Christian C, who was my DP for Cloud Busting and my classmate for Film 32. And then there's Christian R, the half Japanese. Christian, the Asian guy. Christian, aka Katie's boyfriend. Christian R. So Christian R, I'm so glad I brought him, because even though I already know people like Katie and Cameron, etc., but I would still be very awkward. Like Christian, like every film set I go to, there has to be like that one person that I rely on and like talk to a lot. It's Christian R. So yeah, I'm just hanging out with him 80% of the time. And then there's another art PA listed in the call sheet, and her name is Bella Tom. And she is a half Chinese, half Korean American girl. And she's like, yeah, I'm an RPA, and she actually applied to be PD, but she didn't get it. But I got it. And she's a graphic design major. And I told her to do some stuff for me, but she didn't do a lot, which is fine. I don't really care. And then Harley's a PA, which is fucking hilarious. Like, I applied to be PD for the music video. I didn't get it. Harley got it. Harley probably also applied for PD for this one, but I ended up getting it, and she's just a PA. So, how the tables have turned. And yeah, there are also a few other random people, extras and PAs, PAing on an APCA web episode shoot. And like a lot of the people here, it's like the first time they're on set, which is great. Cool place to learn. Like, if your first time on set is an MFA set, aka like me, then I don't know, it's a lot of risks. But yeah, I started off dressing the room, and within half an hour, we finished dressing it. It's just sticking up posters. I asked Christian to draw a giant brain diagram on the whiteboard, which was gorgeous. He is so good at drawing. Holy balls. Yuki saw it and was like, oh, did you do it? That's so good. And I'm like, no, Christian did it, and she's like, oh, um, the best thing I did all day today though is to brainstorm, because Cameron, the director, wants to cover up all the USC logos, so I have to find extra blank white pieces of paper, which I don't have. So I have to brainstorm, like, which piece of paper do I not cut up and use it to stick over some signs, and how do I hide some other stuff. And there's apparently both the lead actresses didn't bring their laptops, so I brought 2 laptops. So I gave one of them to one of the actresses, which is the one my uncle gave me just now in Seattle over winter. And then Katie gave her laptop to another actress, but the issue is that it's Apple, and they're like we can't really cover up the Apple logo without making it look hideous. So I thought, what if I grab one of my malfunctioned prints and cut up so I have a half a brain diagram, because the printer at FedEx office couldn't print the full thing. So I just cut it up and I just stuck it onto the laptop, which is not convincing at all, but you know what? That's the best I can come up with. And I'm proud of it. It's so stupid, but it worked. And then beyond that, it was so chill. I did like nothing. I also wrote a little sign outside of the door, but that's it. So I ended up being an extra, which is also cool and fun and allowed me to socialize even more. There's this guy, his name is Ted. He's from Taipei, Taiwan. He speaks very good English, but then I took a peek at his own laptop and there's traditional Chinese, and I'm like, ooh. And then when me, Ted, and Harley sat in this, me, Ted, Harley sat in the classroom as extras, I was like, oh, can you guys guess where I'm from? And yeah, turns out one from Taiwan, one from China, one from Hong Kong. So that's intriguing. It's like me, Ken, and Leslie all over again. But yeah, Ted is a business major. He has nothing to do with film at all. But I talked to Harley quite a bit. She's actually really nice. We're talking about cams. She finds it boring, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And then I actively asked them for Instagram. I thought everyone pulled out their phones, and I thought everyone's exchanging Instagram. So I'm like, oh, what's your Instagram? Turns out people are not actually exchanging Instagram. But since I did it first, then everyone started following me. So holy shit, I was actually really active and social today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I don't have enough sleep, and whenever I don't have enough sleep, I am less cautious about how I act, so I end up being more extroverted. The less sleep I have, the more extroverted I get. That's a theory. But yeah, and yeah, just chilled. Not much else really. So lunch happened at 3 p.m. and it was actually pretty nice. We didn't have pizza. It was a rice, salad, and roast chicken, which is an interesting combo. And I was eating with Christian R. and then Katie. So I've never seen Katie this happy and jolly, and I always thought to myself, I can never imagine them two being a couple, but they are indeed a couple, and it's so strange to see it happen in front of my face, especially given that I made it happen. But Katie was she would go up to Christian R. and she would be whispering things to Christian R. and then oh, I'm so tired, and she laid her head on Christian R's shoulder, and I'm like, wow, Christian R is such an introverted, quiet guy, and then Katie is such a strong, commanding woman. I can never see this shit happening, but it just happened, and it's so weird. And then during lunch, there's a little depressing moment where everyone's like, oh yeah, I got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend. I overheard a conversation between this random guy who's the first AC, and he's talking to Bella, who was vlogging the whole day today. And Bella's like, oh, I actually have a boyfriend. And that guy was like, oh, I actually have a girlfriend. And they talk about their respective partners like it's In the Mood for Love or something. And I'm just there eating like, yep, yep. And like, they're younger than me. The second AC guy, he's freshman. So, yeah, I stop being happy, man. Like, stop enjoying life. What are you doing? Stop having love for other people. Like, stop being so positive. Like, be negative for once. But yeah. And then after lunch, I wanted to go downstairs to grab Starbucks because I know I would need that caffeine. With how little I slept this morning, I know that I may fall asleep for the David Lynch film, which is the last thing I want. That this screening is very important to me. So, yeah. So I ended up not going to Starbucks. Instead, I spent maybe an hour or so drawing on a whiteboard at a neighboring classroom that is open for some reason, where Christian R was hiding. And I just brainstormed my short films for $2.90. All 3 of them. And also, I was talking about $2.90, and Katie was like, you're taking $2.90 now? Man, with which professor? And I said my professor's name, and Katie was like, me too. And then Katie was like, oh, I took it with Ethan? Or something like that, because Ethan, the Asian American guy, he also took the $2.90, same professor, and he's in film prod. Bro. So, yeah, I feel overqualified. In $2.90, you're supposed to be like a complete noob. Like, not to brag, but I've made 8 short films. Like, come on, man. So, today I learned quite a bit about $2.90. So, at the very end of lunch, I sat beside Ethan, the Asian American guy, and I was like, hey, Ethan, I have an intriguing proposition for you. And he's like, oh, what is it? And I'm like, so it's about $2.90. I'm taking this silly class right now called $2.90, and I'm on the hunt for DPs and sound and actors. And he's like, yeah, I'm very busy this semester. B, I can't help you out. Like, it's against the rules. And I'm like, what? And then he told me that he also took the same professor. And he's like, yeah, when I took my class, one of the students, this woman, this semi-famous micro-celebrity black woman called Eris Baker, hired a DP or like some other DP to do her film, and she got busted. So it's literally against the rules. Apparently, our professor really emphasizes doing your own cinematography and operating your own camera. And yeah, I get it. DIY, intro filmmaking, you hold your own camera, that makes sense. But like, I'm more than that, you know? But I mean, sure, it's doable. Not the end of the world. But like, I've done guerrilla filmmaking. Right? Like, Hard Like Soldier, my first film, my second film, Dreams of an Empty Street, Cloud Busting. I did operate the camera once in Cloud Busting, but like literally every film I've made, I've never held the camera myself. I do own a camera, and I do use my camera to film like BTS and vlogs, but I never do it for my own short films because I'm more worried about the performances. But apparently I can't do that shit. And I'm like, what? Then, like, what do I do? Like, am I just gonna do everything? Like, sound? And Ethan was like, well, you can have a boom op. And I'm like, okay. So it's really, like, skeleton crew. Like, even more skeleton than all the skeleton crews. Like, I've like, first day of Love and Death, it's just me, Chunhwa, and Ray-chan. Imagine that, but even fewer people. So it's just me with everything and the actor. That is what $2.90 is looking for. Which is fucking sad, man. I just made a 19-minute short film, and it's actually good, I guess. But yeah. Oh, Ethan also told me he saw my short film at the DK Film Festival, and I'm like, what, you saw it too? So, and he really liked it. So again, it's like I'm in film, I should be in film prod, like with my skill, but no, I'm just too weird, I'm just too mentally unstable, sure, whatever, who cares? So, yeah. So I went to the whiteboard, and I just started writing up the synopsis, my idea for the 3 short films. Also, it's not 4 short films, it's 3 short films. It's 1 individual exercise and 2 short films. And the individual exercise is called the wallet exercise, where character A drops a wallet, character B finds it, and then something happens, and the whole film has to have no dialogue, and no lighting kit, and it has to be in 8 shots maximum and 3 minutes max. Like, come on. So I'm like, fine, I'll brainstorm. So what I got was exactly 8 shots, and I did all, wide shot, close up, medium shot, everything. And it's a story about character A dropping his wallet. Character B is a she, picks up the wallet and starts running after A. She trips over. A turns around and A walks back, and then it ends on a close-up of A. Literally the most basic story ever. It's like, I'm not trying to be an auteur in this one. I'm just trying to make this work. I'm less of a filmmaker, more of a problem solver for this exercise. I'm just trying to follow the prompt as much as I can. Not a lot of room to be creative. But it works. The story works. There's a conflict. There are 2 characters. There's back and forth. There's a little twist. It's what else. And then for the next 2 short films, Remain in Light and Smooth Operator, I came up with a few scene ideas and I just assembled them together. And then I made a list of everything I own and then a list of everything I need. So I needed quite a hefty number of things. Most importantly, a gimbal, and then lavs, bounce board, and of course actors. And for actors, just ask Mitchell. That's what Ethan said. There's a Instagram group chat called SDA group chat, but it has reached its limit. Like, it has 250 members in it, so Ethan can't add me into it because it hit its limit. So I'm too late. But most of the group chat is Mitchell anyway, so I can just DM Mitchell, which I already am. So I'll be asking him for actors. But for now, my first project, I'm just going to ask Glenn and Kaylin. At some point, Yuki was like, oh, because like this APC web episode shoot, there's a character called Leah, and they haven't even casted her, and they need her freaking tomorrow. So Yuki was like, oh, I know this girl, her name is Kaylin. So, well, what a coincidence, because I was just going to ask her. So I'm going to DM her maybe tomorrow. And then the next thing is gimbal and lavs. And I talked to Ethan quite a bit, and Ethan was like, yeah, you have to ask. But maybe they'll approve, but you'll have to prove that you know how to use a gimbal, which is so stupid. Gimbal is considered advanced technology, advanced camera equipment, but like, okay, I'm not gonna make every shot still where the camera sits on the tripod. That's boring. I mean, I can do it, but I'm not gonna do it because it goes against what I'm trying to do. It's a hindrance. I could do handheld, but it's just gonna look shaky. I need a gimbal. That's like a basic requirement. With a gimbal, at least I could stabilize the camera. So, yeah. Also, we could technically use our own cameras. The school will give us a Sony FX30, but that shit is an APS-C lens. And they give us 24 to 70mm lens. So on an APS-C, it would look like 35 to 85. Like, that's terrible. That's a terrible range. What the fuck? And Ethan was like, you could use your own camera if they don't notice it. So I'm just gonna do that. But I do want to use a fisheye lens, but I guess that's out of the question because if I do use a fisheye lens, then it's gonna be obvious. Yeah, but my conversation today with Ethan was great, and the fact that I'm sleep deprived, but I still somehow figured out my entire plan for all 3 of my shorts is pretty impressive. Like, I figured out the story, I figured out the general structure, and for the stories of my 2nd and 3rd short film, it's like I still have time to like change around and rewrite and simplify. So there's that. Okay. Anyways, yeah, I'm. What else? There's a very interesting moment. Katie went up to me. I don't know why, but I'm like a little bit scared of Katie all the time. I'm just scared of strong women. And strong men too, very much. I'm scared of strong people in general. But Katie is so nice to me, and Katie's like, Enoch, we need you, Enoch. Like, it's funny because she might be younger than me too. Like, I'm just scared of people. But at some point, Katie was like, Enoch, I have a weird question. How many films have you logged in your letterbox? So I didn't say anything. I just showed my letterbox app, and it shows 1,200. And she's like, yep, I knew it. So apparently Katie and Christian last night, they were talking about me, which I'm fucking honored. Like, I hate to do this all the time, but many years ago in secondary school, no one talks about me. No one knows me. And to have such important people talk about me is like, I'm honored, okay? I'm honored to be mentioned. My name being mentioned in somebody else's mouth, I'm already honored. And Katie was like, oh, I bet Enoch has more than 1,000 logs. And I did. And Christian's like, that's crazy. I feel like I've only seen about 500 films. And I'm like, 500 is not bad. You're not even a film major. 500 is not bad. But yeah, today's shoot was really smooth. At first it was slow. At first we were like 1 hour behind, but I was like, yeah, no, we're gonna pick up pace. And we ended up being super freaking fast after lunch, and then we wrapped at like 5:30. We were so fast. Yeah. What else happened? I'm trying to brainstorm. Not much else. It's very interesting because I was an extra. I'm an extra again in a film where Yuki is the lead, and then Yuki turned around and was like, "Oh, no." I was like, "Oh, it's the second time we're in a film together," and Yuki's like, "Yeah, that's crazy," and I'm wearing the same sweater too. Yuki wore the same sweater today as the one she wore when we shot her scene at the office for Imperfect Us, and I was like, "Aha, multiverse." It's crazy how many connects I already have because I'm just so proactive. And then the producer, I think he's Latino. What the hell is he doing for an Asian film club? He's like, oh, thank you for being proactive and stuff. And I'm like, oh, it's okay. But it is truly not a bad shoot. I think everyone had a swell time. And, yeah. It's like, it's swell. It's fine, you know? It's not as chaotic as I thought it would be. It's like sloppy, but it's not like film 33 is still worse. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then at 5:30 I left. I decided to go to Starbucks and get a coffee. Caramel macchiato, and then I had it. And that's a great way because it's en route to the bus stop. And also I could drink on the bus, I could drink on the metro. So I drank on the bus. And I was on my way to the metro station, which I haven't been before for some reason. And then I took a train to Hollywood Highland. I walked out, went to Egyptian Theater, and I arrived. And there's a lot of people. And thank God I arrived somewhat early, because I'm late all the fucking time. And I got my physical ticket at the box office. I went to the bathroom, took a piss. And my earbuds dropped, right? I just remembered that. And then I lined up for popcorn because I know I would be hungry. But at that point, it was like 7:01 or 7:02 p.m. And the staff are beginning to close the doors. So I'm like, fuck, what if the film starts? So I just left the line and I just went into the theater and I just found a semi good seat at the side, but still a good view. And I thought, well, if I don't have popcorn, at least I have granola bar. So I had a granola bar and I had a mini burger gummy candy. And that's how I survived the film. Every time I felt sleepy, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat. If I'm sleepy, I need to start eating. But yeah, wow, what a fucking amazing movie. What a bizarre experience. What a dense monster of a film. I loved it so much. And I was expecting a standing ovation at the end of the film. Too bad it didn't happen. But I wish it did. Because his film deserves a standing ovation, even though he's not here anymore. But, yeah. Yeah. Very meaningful screening. One of the most meaningful screenings of my life, I think. This Perfect Day screening was meaningful. I think Everything Everywhere All at Once means a lot to me. Evangelion means a lot to me. 2001 means a lot to me. Chungking Express when Leslie was there means a lot to me. Ron means a lot to me. Seven Samurai. Yeah. Drive My Car, Parasite. But yeah, Inland Empire. Wow. Wow. Film finish. Call a Lyft. $32. Hella expensive. I don't know why today's extra expensive. Uber is even worse. Uber's like 35, but I'm like, sure, who cares? I arrived home, took a shower, and I was insanely starving. Starvation maximum. So I made myself dinner, rice, pork chop, broccoli, very mid, 3 out of 10. Ate it all up anyways, and now I'm full, but I'm so sleepy. But yeah. Okay, finishing remarks. So tomorrow I'm seeing Nosferatu. So, another day, another film. Which is cool. And, yeah. I don't know why, but after today, seeing Christian R and Katie together, and then like seeing people talk about dating as if it's nothing. Oh, I have a girlfriend, and my girlfriend said my jacket looks ugly. Blah blah blah. It's like a very simple and easy thing for some fucking reason. A, I'm overcomplicating it, which I've been saying for years, but B, I think it's selfish to think that I'm missing something in me that everyone else just coincidentally have. Unless I am actually, like, very bad autistic or, like, schizophrenic. Like, I don't think it's destiny that I don't have... No. Okay, what the fuck am I thinking? I don't think there's something wrong with me. I have female friends, and I talk to women. I'm not an incel by the modern definition. And I'm not a shut-in nobody. I am joining clubs and talking to people, and people like me. People talk about me, actually. I'm not that bad. The only reason why I don't date is simply because A, I'm taking it super seriously, but also B, because I'm rather aro ace. I think these are the two biggest reasons. But truthfully, I think the third biggest reason is I always assume people hate me, or I always assume loving someone is such a huge deal that you have to break the walls of Jericho in order to You know, I have to break the walls of Leslie. I have to talk to her 50 times and charm her and have her trust me and let her know that I'm also sad like her, but also let her know that I can protect her at the same time, even though I'm still sad, and all this and that and this and that. When in fact, all you need to do is just talk a little bit and let nature take its course, which is the Ken philosophy. Kenism. This is Kenism. So I'm gonna try to do that. I'm gonna try to do that. Maybe it's a delusional thought, or maybe it's the perfectly reasonable thing to think about. What if Jaehyun's waiting for me to act first? And again, this might be delusional? I can't tell. I have no grasp on reality, so I can't tell if something's real or fake anymore. So maybe I'm just yapping, or maybe I'm super right on the money. But maybe Jaehyun's waiting for me, because we're supposed to meet up for breakfast. And then she's like, let's do it in LA then. And then no news. She might be waiting for me to act first. So I may do it. But I don't know how. But if I could grab coffee with her just for an hour and pick her brain, not just as we're both film people, but actually get to know her, you know, I don't know, I feel like I did really well socially today, even though I had no sleep. I was like, oh, guess where I'm from. What do you think of this class? What do you think of that class? And, you know, and I do this shit all the time, fantasizing. I fantasize the conversations I would have. And I realized I could actually talk a lot, because I talked a lot in front of Christian R today. Talking about people, I told Christian R about Colin and Anya and Cheyenne and all these cool people. And he's like, wow, I don't know I don't know that many film people. So I don't know. It's worth a try. I don't know if it's worth more if... I don't know if it's worth a try because I don't have that much feelings for her right now. So if I fuck it up, it won't be that bad, or if it's not worth it because I don't have that much feelings for her. It's paradox. I'm so tired. I'm gonna end this. I forgot to mention that Harley, the Chinese girl, saw my Instagram, and the first thing she asked is, why detective? And I said, it's a secret. Yeah. I'll never tell a Chinese girl why I'm the detective. This soon anyways. Lesson learned. Okay, time now is 12:32 afternoon on January 19th. Slept from 5:10 to 12:30. It was an okay sleep. I did wake up a couple times, but it's definitely better than yesterday, for sure. And tomorrow I can sleep all day, or wake up naturally. But yeah, in fact, I can actually just go back to bed for half an hour. I'm gonna do that. But yeah. So I'm gonna be the production designer for episode 1. That's cool. Maybe Jaehyun will show up. I don't know. maybe the thing is, like, I've talked to Jiayun a lot, probably even more so than Katie, even though I've known Katie for longer. But I still don't know if Jiayun is like a chill person or if she's, you know, not chill. Oh yeah, I'm gonna film my Inland Empire review, and I'm gonna eat 2 cookies and drink a Coke to honor him, and that's gonna be like my breakfast, kinda. And then at around 3 p.m. today, I'm gonna be leaving, and I'm going to walk to the USC Village-ish to meet up with Justin T, and then we'll be taking an hour bus ride together to the Grove, and we'll be visiting Barnes & Noble, and then we'll be having a bit of a lunch in just a wee bit. I don't want to eat too much because it's expensive to eat outside, but I do want to eat outside because I don't have anything else to eat for lunch. I have no lunch food. Tomorrow lunch will be sandwich, probably, bread, whatever. But yeah, like, that's the only lunch food I have. I will buy lots of lunch food when I go to H Mart tomorrow. So yeah, it's really cold. And what else? I don't know. Assignments? Maybe I have assignments. Brightspace told me that I had an incomplete quiz in religion class, which is like, what do you mean there's a quiz? What? I don't know. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Leia from Hong Kong asked me if I could Venmo someone to help her buy something, so I'm gonna try to do that. And I guess not much else. But you know, speaking of infiltrating APCA, I think I've done that. Kinda. You know, the fact that I've befriended Katie even more is already a very good sign that I've basically infiltrated APCA. Yeah. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
I guess Paris, Texas.
LMNOP. Paris, Texas. Okay. 哦，呢個 regular，呢個唔係 4K。
4K 嗰啲出咗
Bro
下面 4K 喎，睇下先。下面，
但係下面唔係 arrow。
下面唔係
Rampo more。即係下面嘅呢啲唔係 arrow，下面嗰啲 regular。唉，冇，喂有呢隻咯，但係我已經有啦，我自己已經有啦。五郎八卦棍。好容易迷路嘅呢度。但係我覺得，
但係最有問題就係呢個，
仲要唔係 4K 喎。
唔係 4K，未出啫。
After Sun 我覺得值得。如果我唔知 A24 有冇 sale 呢啲嘢，但好靚啊呢個 cover 色。我買呢一個20蚊又冇咗，但係我覺得抵嘅呢一套嘢20蚊。What the heck？
咩意思啊？
我唔知。Nosferatu 死咗。
死咗啦！
一嚟就死咗。G10 and G11。
Would you do it yourself?
locally. Time now is 1:52 a.m. in the morning on, you know. Yeah, it's a nice day. It was a nice day indeed. I had a decent sleep of about 7 hours. I filmed my very long Inland Empire movie review. Had 2 cookies and a Coke in the honor of David Lynch. And then I left. I was a little late, but the bus was even later than me, so we caught the bus on time because of that. So I met up with Justin T at Vermont Jefferson intersection, and we took the bus together. 1 hour bus ride to the Grove. 1 hour bus ride is not intimidating when you realize that when you and your friends hang out and you walk around malls and shops and talk, the exact same thing is happening, except it's on a bus. So like, we're getting somewhere and we're spending that time talking. It's time well spent, honestly. We arrived at the Grove at around 3:45-ish, and Justin T was kind of hungry and Justin T wants to grab a bite, but I was like, oh, Barnes & Noble's on our way. So we went to Barnes & Noble and we looked at Blu-rays, etc. And Justin T got intrigued by the Inglourious Bastards. I think before today, Justin T didn't even know that there is an Inglourious Bastards on 4K. I told him about it and he got really excited. But unfortunately, there's no Inglourious Bastards on 4K. There's only Inglourious Bastards on 2K today. And it's 50% off sale, so might as well. And so we went up to the cashier, and I also thought to myself, since it's Arrow 50% off sale, maybe I should buy an Arrow Blu-ray as well. Now, keep in mind that this morning I already bought a Blu-ray on eBay, the Valiant ones, for $28, 4K, which I think is worth it. But I wanted the Chang-Che and Lau Kar-leung box sets. But turns out it's completely out of stock. It's completely gone from Barnes & Noble. I can only find it online at this point. But yeah, we went up to staff, and she was like, yeah, unfortunately, we don't have any more Inglourious Bastards on 4K. There's one on hold, and then that's it. So we didn't buy anything, and we went to Farmer's Market to eat. And Justin T is probably like his second time eating here, but he he forgot whether he actually went here to eat before. So, the Brazilian food really intrigued Justin T. And I was like, yeah, I've been there, and it's super expensive, and it's very popular for some reason. So instead, we went to a shawarma place, and it's interesting, because lately I've been watching a lot of like YouTube shorts and YouTube videos about like Indian food and Arabic food, so shawarma has been on my mind lately. So I had a beef shawarma, which is already $13. I had fries with it, because why not? And thank God I brought my own water with me, because I know water costs. Justin T got a lamb kebab plate, which is already $24, and he needs water. So he bought a bottled water, and his food adds up to $29, which is fucking insane. So I'm happy I spent $18 for a good meal. Besides, the beef shawarma and the fries, that is already more than the average size of the lunch I would usually eat. So I ain't complaining. So anyways, afterwards, we went to Barnes & Noble again, just to have a peek, because we had extra time, just to take a peek and see if they had restocked the Arrow section. And they did. And Justin T was so happy that he got Inglourious Bastards, that one, on 4K limited edition. And he was like, oh man, I'm so lucky. And I was like, yeah, you're very lucky. So I paid $48 for this. Justin T only paid half the price, essentially. Like 24? I don't know. But such a good deal. And I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll buy something too. So I bought The Prodigal Son, which is a film I haven't even heard of, but I checked Letterboxd. There were a couple Blu-rays there in the Arrow section. That is from Hong Kong, and you know my mission to collect all Hong Kong films on Blu-ray. But I don't. There's Hand of Death, and then there's The Prodigal Son. Hand of Death is directed by John Woo. It's a very early film by John Woo, and nobody has seen it. It has 1.7k views on Letterboxd, and then The Prodigal Son has about 3,000 views on Letterboxd, but it is on 3.8. Some of the people I know have given it good ratings, and it's directed by Sammo Hung. So I'm like, well, fuck it, I gotta get this. So I got this for $21. Pretty good deal. And yeah, it's a blind buy, but I don't care. I just want to collect Hong Kong films. But yes, I am buying too much. I know. And then next month, February, I'll buy more Criterions anyways. At least I'm not buying anime nowadays, which is even more expensive. But yeah, so now I have like a Vinegar Syndrome, a Eureka, and 2 arrows I need to unbox tomorrow. Okay, anyways. So, Justin T also got himself Norwegian Wood by Murakami, which is hilarious because I have the same book. Also from Barnes & Noble, but not in California. Like, I didn't buy this, period. Anyways, we went to AMC, and then we watched Nosferatu. We were right on time. And Justin T found out that he lost his keys to his apartment, which... The issue isn't that he can't go back to his dorm. He can, because his roommate can just open the door for him. The issue is that if he loses his keys, he needs to pay like $200 to replace it. But thankfully, a little bit later, his roommate texted him back saying, oh yeah, the keys are on your table. You forgot to bring it. But while waiting for his roommate to respond, also, Justin T can't go back home if his roommates aren't at home. And it's a Sunday night tonight. So, he stayed at my place. Yes. So, I think it's the... Okay, I'm jumping ahead. So, after the film, we called an Uber and we left. I don't know why, but all my Uber says is $0. All my Uber rides are free, suddenly. I don't know what the fuck happened. And Justin T's like, call it. It's like a flash sale. It just disappears if, like, sometime later. And I'm like, okay. So I called a free Uber, and somehow I called an Uber for free, which is fucking great. I saved so much money for because of that. So I'm really happy. Maybe it's like a response to a fire thing, but I don't know. It's really crazy. So, yeah, we went home, and Justin T actually came to my home. So the first person to see my home is actually Tova, and then Jonathan came, and then Justin T. And I don't think anyone else came to my home. So he came, he looked at my room, and I actually played some Blu-rays for him. And then his roommate finally came back home, and then he's like, oh, I can go home now. So he called a free Lyft, returned home, that's the end. Pretty good. I had a lot of food. I just had steak, ravioli, and green beans. A big dinner. I wish I would have a smaller dinner, because my lunch today is already quite big. And my breakfast today is quite big. I drank Coca-Cola for breakfast, for fuck's sakes. Or like breakfast part 2. I had a small bowl of cereal. Anyways, so that's a lot of food. I'm a very full man. But the thing is, aside from steak, I don't have any other meats. So tomorrow, I will go to H Mart. I'll buy lots of food again. And I will be nourished. And I'm excited to sleep all day tomorrow, so that's cool. And in other news, nothing. I'm excited for the APCA shoot on episode 1. I DM'd Kaylin about shooting my project, my individual exercise for my 290. And then for the APCA shoot, the producer and the director DM'd me to talk about it. And then... hopefully Jayun shows up. Speaking of Jayun, I DM'd Jayun. I was like, hey, I finally saw Nosferatu. What do you think? She's not responding. Again, it's like, I think, here's what I think now. And I hate that I'm like a pendulum. I swing side by side. Sometimes I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm not going to pursue. Sometimes I'm like, fuck it, I'll pursue. And now I'm on the more fuck it, I'll pursue side. Because my idea is YOLO. I know it's not 2012 anymore, but YOLO. Because you know what, 2025 is going to be a crazy year. I'm going to make it crazy and by acting crazy. So I'm going to actually try to really socialize with people. Socialize really hard. And why not? That's the question. Why not? Why not go further with Jayun? And fuck, I mean it's already January 20th. The other thing is like almost actually every single girl I've met in USC is nowhere near as interesting as Leslie, and then including Leslie, almost every single girl I've met in the community college is nowhere near as interesting as secondary school, meaning that the older I am, the less interested I am in girls. Meaning that the older I am, the less interested I am in people in general. And I think it's two things happening. One is I'm becoming more and more mature, so I think my taste in women isn't as fantastical as before. Like, if you ask me why I love Mary when I was 16, I would say, oh, because she has superpowers, and she can control people's minds, and she's mysterious, and she has a dark past that may be dark. But obviously, I don't think that of anyone. Like, I can tell people like Anya and Cheyenne have probably pretty interesting pasts, but they don't intrigue me anymore because I've met enough interesting, fucked up people. Second of all, the people around me have matured. So, you know, part of the reason why I thought Mary has superpowers was probably because Mary acted like she has superpowers. The thing is, we 20-something-year-olds don't act like that anymore. We're like normal and friendly now because those are good things. So, yeah. So anyways, what I'm trying to say is, since I've already met Jayun and I've already talked to her quite a bit, I don't think there will be another girl who will talk to me even more in such a short period of time while being that close to my major, right? Because she's in screenwriting and she's Asian and she's nice. So those three are things that I know there are a lot of other nice Asian film girls, but I don't know, she's already there. So I don't know. But then again, it's like she's also unpredictable. It's like she either ignores me for 4 days or she talks to me nonstop for 4 days. Like, there's no in between. So, who knows? Really, who knows? But I'm gonna shoot my shot. I have to. I mean, come on, it's 2025. Yeah. But like, it's like Leslie again, where it's so crazy thinking back about 2023. Like, in April, May 2023, the idea is like, if Leslie said yes, then everything will be fine and happy. If Leslie said no, then my life is ruined. And there's nothing in between. Like, either I have attained heaven or I have descended to hell. And there's nothing in between. The good thing is with Jayun, it's different. Like, if she says, oh, I don't even like her that much, honestly. So the stakes aren't even that high in the first place. But also, it's not that big of a deal. So it's worth gambling. Like, she's not gonna show up again and again in my life anyways. So if she like hates me, if I say the wrong thing, she ended up hating me, and telling everyone about me, it's not really the end of the world because USC is a really big school anyways. So somehow the stakes are way lower this time. Which is all the more reasons why I should shoot my shot, you know? Okay, yeah. This muscle, pectoral girdle, insanely sore. Even more sore than yesterday. I don't know why. I can't raise my arm higher than a certain point, so yeah, gym is really gymming.